Inside, Yao Shishua sat cross-legged, her face pale. The seal of life on her brow flickered incessantly. Each flicker sent a surge of vitality into her body, ensuring that her life would never truly end. Yao Shishua opened her eyes, glaring viciously at Wang Lin. The hatred she harbored for him was boundless and endless. Wang Lin ignored her gaze completely and spoke calmly. "Daoist Yao, have you given any thought to my proposal from last time?" Yao Shishua gritted her silver teeth. Within this restriction seal, she could not sense the passage of time, but the longer it went on, the more helpless she felt. Though only a little over a year had passed outside, to her, it felt as though it had been countless lifetimes. "My patience is limited. I'll give you 3 chances. You may choose not to answer this time, but the next time, the 3rd time, if you refuse to answer again, you and I will never meet again," Wang Lin said, glancing at Yao Shishua. "Are you not afraid of my father's pursuit?" Yao Shishua clenched her fists. Wang Lin smiled faintly and nodded. "I am afraid. The blood ancestor's cultivation far exceeds mine. If he pursues me, given my current abilities, I wouldn't even have a chance to escape. But I am forced into this situation. If you hadn't plotted against me, I wouldn't have resorted to such measures. The karmic cycle is inevitable. If I release you, I would still offend the blood ancestor. In that case, it's better to keep you under control, as it may offer a sliver of hope. Release me, and I swear I will never tell my father about this. All grievances between us will be forgiven," Yao Shishua said quickly. Wang Lin looked at her seriously and replied, "I don't believe you." "You?" Yao Shishua took a deep breath. "What do you want from me?" "According to my rules, answer 1 question, and I will reduce your seal by 50 years, Wang Lin said. Yao Shishua lowered her head, a look of struggle in her eyes. Wang Lin waited patiently, quietly observing her. After a while, Yao Shishua raised her head and coldly said, "Even if you seal me, with my father's divine powers, he will certainly find me. At that time, I will watch him crush your body, extract your soul, and refine your essence, locking you in the land of the dead. You will experience a life worse than death." Wang Lin sighed lightly and said, "You wasted your 2nd chance. I hope you cherish the next one." He flicked his eyes and stepped forward, appearing in front of Yao Shishua. With a motion of his right hand, he grabbed her chin, and with a slight force, her mouth was forced open. Yao Shishua's face turned pale, struggling, but she had no strength left. Wang Lin's eyes showed a faint smile as he extended his left hand and inserted 2 fingers into her mouth. When he pulled them out, he held a small red needle between his fingers. "This needle was made from the last bit of your essence chi. If I gave you more time, you might actually be able to use it to sever the seal of life, causing your death in this restriction," Wang Lin said. With a squeeze, the red needle shattered into a blood-colored mist that dissipated. Yao Shishua trembled. The venom in her eyes could no longer be described as hatred. "Wang Lin, if I ever break free, I swear I will use the most cruel methods in the world to torment you." Yao Shishua took a deep breath, her eyes briefly clearing as she looked at Wang Lin and spoke softly. In that moment, it seemed as though an invisible force within her was being purified, transforming her hatred for Wang Lin. Gradually, it began to condense, breaking through the void. Wang Lin smiled faintly and said, "It seems your restriction seal is still too weak." He waved his right hand, and with a gust of breeze, Yao Shishua's clothes disintegrated like dust, carried away by the wind, revealing her alluring, delicate figure. Wang Lin carefully scanned her from top to bottom. Yao Shishua's eyes retained that rare clarity from earlier, though to Wang Lin, they seemed somewhat dazed. His gaze flickered, and he extended his hand, lightly tapping several spots on Yao Shishua's body. Each spot was a sensitive area. With every touch, a surge of immortal power flowed into Yao Shishua. Gradually, her body flushed slightly, and the clarity in her eyes faded, replaced once again by endless humiliation and malice. "Wang Lin, you're despicable and shameless. I, Yao Shishua, will never rest until you and I are at odds for life." The venom in her eyes reached its peak as she screamed in a maddened voice. Wang Lin sighed inwardly, relieved. He had realized just how terrifying her natural talent was. In that brief moment, she had turned her hatred for him into insight, using it to enter the Tao. Her eyes had cleared up because of it. If she had succeeded, the seal of life alone might not have been enough to completely seal her. Without hesitation, Wang Lin brushed off the woman's clothes, using his fingertips' immortal power to stimulate her, until the clarity in her eyes truly vanished, ruining her recent mental state of Tao enlightenment. The seals on you are really too few, Wang Lin murmured, forming hand seals. Runes of restriction immediately flashed out from his hands and fell upon Yao Shishua. Especially on the sensitive areas of her body, Wang Lin's seals showed no mercy, forming a loop. This way, the same kind of stimulation as before was constantly intruding into Yao Shishua's mind and body. Only by doing this could he prevent her from calming down, making it impossible for her to return to the moment of enlightenment she had just experienced. After completing this, Wang Lin extended his right hand forward. The restrictive orbs surrounding her body immediately contracted and transformed back into a sphere, which he then stored in his storage pouch. The daughter of the blood ancestor is indeed troublesome. Only by sealing her in a hidden place will she be manageable. But first, I must know all her secrets. Unfortunately, my cultivation isn't at the level to ask for the Tao. Otherwise, I could directly use soul searching, which would reveal everything. If I attempt it now, I might kill her by accident, and that would leave hidden dangers in the future. Time passed, and soon 2 months had gone by. Only a few days remained until his meeting with the demon commander. On this day, Wang Lin walked out of the valley with Ouyang Hua following closely behind. After I leave, send out hundreds of our people to spread to the surrounding tribes. No matter the size of the tribe, send people to infiltrate them, using all kinds of methods. Once inside, use soul protection to resist their spirit confusion brew. After entering the tribes, teach them the soul refining art, and let more people cultivate this technique. You arrange the details, Wang Lin said slowly. Ouyang Hua responded softly in agreement. After a brief silence, Wang Lin took a jade slip from his storage pouch and handed it to Ouyang Hua. Say, the soul refining art actually consists of 2 parts. Refining souls is just one. This jade slip records another divine art called soul extraction. This technique must not be passed on to anyone outside of the direct descendants. Remember that. Ouyang Hua took a deep breath, solemnly accepting the jade slip. After reading it, he crushed the jade slip and said in a deep voice, Ancestor, I have committed it to memory. I will not forget your words. This technique will only be passed on to the direct descendants of the soul refining tribe. Wang Lin nodded. With a motion of his right hand, the soul banner above the soul refining tribe transformed into black mist and quickly gathered toward his hand, forming a 3-zhong, 10-meter, large banner. With a deep breath, Wang Lin absorbed it into his essence spirit. Then, he took several ordinary soul banners from his storage pouch and threw them into the sky. They transformed into black mist again, enveloping the sky. Having completed this, Wang Lin stepped forward and immediately disappeared. From a distance, a voice drifted to Ouyang Hua's ear. When I return next time, I hope the tribe has grown to over 1 million. Ouyang Hua knelt on the ground, his voice deep and firm. I will not disappoint the ancestor. His words were directed at the already distant Wang Lin, but more importantly, they were a promise to himself. Wang Lin traveled between heaven and earth, a long rainbow streaking across the sky as he headed straight for the ancient demon city, the celestial demon province capital. I wonder what kind of dragon pool or tiger's den lies there. I must go and see for myself. Aside from me, there are several others from the Tianyun sect who have arrived in this land of demon spirits. I wonder if I'll meet any of them in the celestial demon province capital, and the more than 10 from the great Luo sword sect. If I encounter them, I must capture one and ask about Zhou Yi's sealed whereabouts. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with thought, his speed undiminished as he vanished beyond the horizon. In the ancient demon city, Demon General Mo Lihai stood in a green robe atop the east gate wall, behind him a group of commanders and generals. Mo Lihai gazed out into the distance, silent. His silence was mirrored by the people behind him. After a long time, Mo Lihai retracted his gaze and turned to examine the ancient demon city. His eyes immediately fell on the debris in the center of the city, 10 miles wide. I leave, and I won't return. By then, another demon general will come here, but the ruins in this city have nothing to do with me. Mo Lehigh silently thought. It's a pity that the one called 13 was taken by Wang Lin. Of my 18 demon bodies, I've only refined 17. But if Wang Lin truly helps me, I'm confident I can make it into the top 3 of the Demon General Grand Competition. That would give me the qualifications to enter the Ancient Demon Hall for training. Afterward, I will become one of the deputy commanders. Mo Lehigh took a deep breath, his gaze sharpening as he looked into the distance, a faint smile curling on his lips. This person, indeed, keeps his promises. Brother Wang, Mo is here. Mo Lehigh laughed heartily, his voice echoing. Wang Lin's figure materialized in the sky outside the east gate. His gaze swept over the area, landing on Mo Lehigh. He smiled faintly and cupped his fists, saying, "Sorry to keep you waiting, Brother Mo. No worries. This journey is particularly important to me. I will be relying on Brother Wang quite a bit," Mo Lehigh said with a smile, stepping forward to stand in front of Wang Lin. "Say no more." Wang Lin chuckled. "This place is 3 teleportation arrays away from the capital. Brother Wang, please." 2 long rainbows shot up from within the ancient demon city, piercing the sky and disappearing into the distance, leaving behind only the sound of thunder echoing. Located to the north of Heavenly Demon Province, surrounded by countless plains that intersect, if viewed from the sky, one can clearly see these plains forming a shape that resembles 9 giant dragons circling. Where the heads of the 9 dragons point, there lies a deep and mysterious pool. This pool is known as the Dragon Pool, the spiritual symbol of the entire Heavenly Demon Province. The ancient Demon Hall resides within this Dragon Pool. Outside the Dragon Pool, heavy troops stand guard. Before the Dragon Pool, that is, in front of the 9 dragon heads, lies the Celestial Demon City. This city is actually composed of 9 cities of the same size as the ancient Demon City, arranged according to the directions of the Bagua, with the central city being the imperial capital. Outside the imperial capital, there is an inner river, with 8 stone bridges connecting to the other 8 outer cities. The imperial capital is where the demon emperor resides, with pavilions and towers, and jade railings adorning the buildings. As for the 8 outer cities, they are also divided into districts, but we will not go into further detail. This morning, the entire celestial demon city is shrouded in a light mist. This mist emanates from the 9 dragon mountains and is referred to by the demon emperor as Dragon Chi. Breathing in this air can enhance one's cultivation. The entire celestial demon city seems like a giant creature, and as the morning mist slowly dissipates, the voices of early risers gradually awaken this slumbering giant. Outside the celestial demon city, there are 18 teleportation arrays, each guarded by demon soldiers year-round. 8 of these arrays are for public use, including merchants from various regions, who all make use of these 8 arrays. The other 10 arrays are only accessible to those with official duties, clearly marking the distinction between civilians and officials. The 14th array is reserved for the demon generals coming to the capital. Every time it is activated, demon generals return. Demon generals hold significant authority within Heavenly Demon Province, commanding large armies and possessing formidable powers. At this moment, outside the 14th teleportation array, among the demon soldiers guarding the array, one soldier stands out. His armor bears more intricate designs than the others. He stretches his shoulders, sets his weapon aside, removes his helmet, and sits down. He turns to the surrounding demon soldiers and shouts, "Ergo, come here and give me a shoulder massage." As soon as he finishes speaking, a young soldier darts out from the group, his face full of energy. He stands behind the officer, massaging his shoulders while smiling. "Captain, is the pressure just right?" "Yes, not bad. Among you young ones, you're the best at this." The captain moves his shoulders and says with a smile, "Captain, this teleportation array we are guarding is only activated once a month. Why has it been so frequent recently? I've seen many demon generals rushing here." Ergo takes the chance to ask. This question has been bothering him for a long time. "Well, fine. Since I'm in a good mood today, I'll tell you," the captain says, and immediately, the surrounding demon soldiers turn their attention to him, clearly eager to know the details. "You guys are all new recruits in the past 100 years, so it's no surprise you don't know. Every 300 years, there will be a grand competition among the demon generals. The Demon Emperor personally watches, and there are rewards, either cultivation techniques or demon treasures. Normally, that would be nothing, but this competition is different. This time, because of the battle with the Flame Demon Province 200 years ago, we suffered great losses, with many deaths and injuries. 2 of our deputy commanders perished. So, it is said that this Demon General competition will select 2 new deputy commanders from among them. As soon as the captain finishes speaking, the surrounding demon soldiers widen their eyes in shock. It's well known that while the difference between a demon general and a deputy commander is just 1 level, that half level is like a chasm, nearly impossible to cross. In Heavenly Demon Province, for countless years, there have only been 8 chief commanders. Even the deputy commanders only number 8. Yet, demon generals are in the hundreds. The title of deputy commander is not merely the assistant to the chief commander, but a successor to the chief commander. Only a deputy commander has the right to challenge the chief commander and claim the title of demon general. In Heavenly Demon Province, once a chief commander dies, a deputy commander immediately rises to take their place. Thus, the first step in becoming a demon general is to become a deputy commander. Seeing the shocked expressions of the soldiers around him, the captain is quite pleased with himself. He clears his throat and continues. So, with such stakes, the high-ranking demon generals naturally pay much attention to this competition. Those who originally planned not to participate have now sharpened their claws and all rushed here. The 14th array is exclusively for demon generals, which is why it's been so busy recently. The soldier massaging his shoulders quietly asks, "Captain, which demon general do you think will win this time?" This is hard to say. To be called a demon general, one must possess great divine abilities. However, even among these powers, there are those who are stronger than others. If I were to speak, it would probably be Lord Mo Fei, stationed at the border of the Flame Demon Province, who would likely rank within the top 3. Then there's also Lord Mo Lehigh of the ancient demon city. His cultivation is also among the top in the ranks of demon generals. Just as the captain was about to continue, his expression suddenly changed. He quickly stood up, and his helmet, which was resting beside him, flew into the air. He grabbed it and placed it on his head, and with a swift motion of his right hand, he seized a weapon from the ground. Everything was done in an instant. The demon soldiers around him were already used to the captain's actions, and without needing further orders, they immediately stood straight, not daring to look around. At that moment, a series of light rings suddenly rose from the teleportation array. The overwhelming demon power slowly spread out. As the array's light rings ascended, 2 figures slowly materialized inside the teleportation array. The moment they appeared, they both stepped forward at the same time. With one step, they exited the array in unison. Mo Lehigh looked ahead at the capital, exhaling deeply. Smiling, he said to the person beside him, "Brother Wang, it has been 30 years since I last returned to the imperial capital." Wang Lin looked ahead at the massive city. The scale of the city was as he had expected, as this was the capital of the Heavenly Demon Province after all. "Greetings, Lord Mo." As soon as the 2 stepped out, the countless demon soldiers outside the array immediately greeted them in unison. Mo Lehigh gave a slight nod, smiling at Wang Lin. "Brother Wang, please." With that, he took a step forward and headed straight for the western gate of the imperial capital. Wang Lin followed closely behind, and the 2 gradually walked further away. After they left, the captain let out a sigh of relief. One of the demon soldiers beside him whispered, "Captain, who is the person accompanying Lord Mo? I've been seeing demon generals bringing unfamiliar individuals into the city recently." The captain glared at the demon soldier and whispered, "For this demon general grand competition, these distinguished figures are extremely serious and have been seeking external help. For someone like this person to be recognized by Lord Mo, there must be something special about them. Don't guess recklessly." He gazed toward the spot where Wang Lin and Mo Lehigh had disappeared, thinking to himself, for someone to be acknowledged by Mo Lehigh and even use this special teleportation array, they are definitely no ordinary person. Moreover, judging from their actions just now, Mo Lehigh was quite respectful to this person. Their cultivation must be extraordinary. At the western gate of Celestial Demon City, as a high-ranking demon general, Mo Lehigh was greeted with great respect by the gate's demon soldiers, who immediately escorted the two of them into the city before bowing and leaving. Brother Wang, this celestial demon city is full of mixed factions, especially at this moment, with demon generals entering the capital and the internal ministers forming their own factions. It would be best if you don't stay outside. Come with me to my mansion. What do you think? Mo Lehigh turned to Wang Lin, speaking earnestly. There were two cities near the western gate of Celestial Demon City, Mystic City and Vast City. Celestial Demon City has 8 outer cities, which are divided into 2 rings, an inner and an outer ring. The inner ring consists of the cities of Tian, Di, Xian, and Huang, while the outer ring consists of the cities of Yu, Zhou, Hong, and Huang. There are distinctions based on one's position in the city. I live in Vast City, Mo Lehigh explained. Wang Lin thought for a moment, then nodded. I'll follow your suggestion, Brother Mo. Mo Lehigh smiled slightly and nodded at Wang Lin, then continued forward. About 100 meters ahead, there was a fork in the road with 2 wide paths stretching out, one leading to Mystic City, the other to Vast City. With Mo Lehigh leading the way, Wang Lin followed. The city of Vast City was bustling, with shops lining the streets and many people living there. The streets were crowded, yet there was a third of the road left open in the middle, offering a clear view to the far end. This road is the military path. Ordinary people cannot walk on it. Mo Lehigh noticed Wang Lin's gaze on the open space and smiled as he explained. At that moment, a series of loud whistles came from the military path ahead. Soon, a group of black warhorses galloped toward them. Wang Lin scanned with his divine sense and counted 19 warhorses, each carrying black armored soldiers. These soldiers' cultivation was not inferior to those at the spirit transformation stage, and their demon power blended together in a strange and unique way. As they galloped, the air above them swirled with demon aura, and the vague silhouette of a giant beast could be seen in the distance. The 19 soldiers headed straight for Wang Lin and Mo Lehigh. Wang Lin glanced at Mo Lehigh and noticed that, though the demon general's expression was serious, there was a slight smile at the corner of his mouth. The 19 soldiers stopped about 50 meters away, dismounted, and knelt before them, saying in unison, "We greet the general." Mo Lehigh laughed heartily, waved his hand, and said, "Get up. This is my friend, Vice General Wang. From now on, when you see him, it will be as if you're seeing me." The 19 soldiers immediately stood and said in unison, "We greet Vice General Wang." Wang Lin nodded slightly. The voices of the more than 10 people and the scene before them immediately caught the attention of the pedestrians nearby. They all showed surprise and quickly retreated to a great distance. "Brother Wang, come to my residence and have a drink. I've asked someone to prepare some good wine. How about we drink together?" Mo Lehigh leapt into the saddle of a warhorse. "Good wine, you say?" Wang Lin also stepped forward and mounted a warhorse, smiling. "Of course, it's good wine." Mo Lehigh and Wang Lin exchanged a glance and burst into laughter. Without hesitation, they both rode off, side by side, followed by 19 people and 17 horses, continuously trailing behind. The group rode down the military road, the wind howling as they went. Suddenly, ahead, the sound of galloping hooves could be heard. Mo Lehigh's expression darkened, and the horse beneath him did not slow down. Instead, it sped up. Wang Lin's eyes flickered. He recognized someone. However, the man's right cheek bore a scar that disfigured his appearance completely. The beauty of his face was gone, replaced by a sinister, malevolent aura. Riding alongside him on another warhorse was a thin man, pale-faced but with piercing, intense eyes. He immediately noticed Wang Lin, and his gaze flickered with a strange light. The two groups did not slow their pace, and they met head-on like two wild beasts, charging at each other without mercy. The scarred, sinister man fixed his gaze entirely on Mo Lehigh, ignoring everything else. In his eyes, there was only Mo Lehigh. At that moment, it seemed as if the earth itself trembled, the two groups drawing closer and closer. Just as they were about to collide, Mo Lehigh laughed heartily. Still on horseback, he clenched his right fist and struck out with a punch. The punch seemed like the roar of the wind, as if the very void were collapsing, charging straight at the sinister man. Before the punch even landed, The sound of booming echoes rang out, and the force of the punch tore through the air. The sinister man remained unfazed, raising his right hand. He pointed his index finger forward, then quickly switched to his middle finger. His speed was so fast that in the blink of an eye, all 5 fingers had been pointed in succession. Then, he closed them together into a cone and pointed forward once again. A muffled sound suddenly rang out between the two. A ripple of force spread between them, reverberating outwards, expanding to a 3-zhang radius, then dissipating outside the military road without harming any buildings. Both parties had mastered their strength perfectly, ensuring the shock wave was minimized to the lowest possible extent. The sinister man swayed slightly in the saddle. The warhorse beneath him gave a mournful cry, its 4 legs shattering instantly. His body exploded in a burst of blood and flesh, but he used the momentum to retreat 3 steps. With each step, the ground seemed to quake. 10 collapsed fist intent. The man's eyes locked on Mo Lehigh as he spoke in a low voice. Mo Lehigh also trembled slightly, his horse retreating a few steps. Wang Lin's eyes flashed, and he raised his right hand, subtly helping Mo Lehigh to dissipate some of the opposing force. Mo Lehigh took a deep breath, steadying himself. His warhorse was unharmed, and the difference in strength between him and his opponent was immediately apparent. 6-fingered demon sword. Nothing more. Mo Lehigh laughed. The sinister young man's cold gaze shifted from Mo Lehigh to Wang Lin. He spoke in a deep voice. "Outsider, what's your name?" Wang Lin glanced at him, but said nothing. The sinister young man furrowed his brow. At this moment, the thin man beside him spoke softly. "His name is Wang Lin." Mo Lehigh's gaze sharpened as he looked from Wang Lin to the thin man. "Oh, you know each other?" the sinister young man asked. "He is my fellow disciple." The thin man replied slowly, looking at Wang Lin. "Long time no see, senior brother Sun Tao. You've been heavily injured. It seems like you'll need to meditate for years to recover." Wang Lin spoke calmly, his tone neutral with no hint of joy or anger. The moment he saw Sun Tao, he immediately noticed the severe injuries within his body, injuries that even affected his essence spirit. Though the wounds had been forcibly suppressed, his cultivation had fallen drastically from the mid-ascendant stage to the perfect infant metamorphosis stage. Sun Tao stared at Wang Lin for a long time, his shock gradually fading. When he saw Wang Lin, he had also noticed that Wang Lin had risen from the mid-infant metamorphosis stage to the perfect stage in one leap. "Junior brother Wang Lin, it seems you've had a great opportunity, but be careful in this celestial demon city. My injuries were caused by people from the Great Luo Sword sect." Sun Tao spoke slowly, his voice tinged with hidden anger. However, the anger was not directed at Wang Lin, but at the Great Luo Sword sect. Wang Lin remained silent. After a moment, he patted his storage pouch, and a pill bottle appeared in his hand. Though the pill would not be of much help to Sun Tao, it was a gesture of goodwill from Wang Lin. He tossed the bottle without a word and rode forward. Mo Lehigh glanced meaningfully at the 2 men, then, with his soldiers, passed by the sinister young man and caught up with Wang Lin. The group gradually moved farther away. The sinister young man cast a cold glance at Mo Lehigh's retreating figure, then turned back and asked, "What do you think of this man?" Sun Tao put away the pill bottle, paused for a moment, then spoke. "If I weren't injured, I could have killed him. Don't underestimate him. Mo Lehigh knows 3 divine moves. The 10 collapse fist intent is the first. The 100 waves of the demon sea is the second. The final move, passed down by the demon emperor himself, is incredibly powerful." The sinister young man sighed, saying, "If you weren't injured, I'd have complete confidence in winning this demon general competition." Sun Tao was silent for a moment, then said, "If I have enough materials, I can refine a batch of heavenly origin pills. It will allow me to restore my cultivation to the ascendant stage in a short time." The sinister young man nodded, saying, "Don't worry about the materials. I've already sent people to gather them." He then changed the topic, asking, "What about your disciple? What do you think of him?" Sun Tao's expression became complicated, and he sighed softly. "He's strong, very strong. Even if his cultivation isn't at the perfect infant metamorphosis stage, even if he's only at the mid-infant metamorphosis stage, he's not someone you should provoke lightly." The sinister young man's gaze sharpened. He had known Sun Tao for a long time, but it was the first time he had ever heard such an evaluation of a person from Sun Tao, spoken in this manner. On the military road, Mo Lihai glanced at Wang Lin beside him and smiled. "Thank you, Brother Wang, for your help earlier. Without it, my mount would probably have turned into a pile of flesh and blood." "It was nothing, Brother Mo. No need to mention it." Wang Lin shook his head. "The person we encountered earlier is named Shi Shao. His six-finger sword technique is incredibly powerful. With your senior brother's help, he will be one of my toughest opponents this time," Mo Lihai said slowly. The group raced along the military road. After a short while, they stopped in front of a residence. The place was small, but it had a courtyard, complete with a rockery and a tranquil stream, giving it an elegant atmosphere. Wang Lin's residence was in the south pavilion, just through a rock garden. Mo Lihai arranged 2 soldiers for Wang Lin before leaving to report to the Demon Emperor in the Imperial City. Before he left, he spoke to Wang Lin, promising to return and treat him to wine. In his room, Wang Lin sat cross-legged. The purpose of his trip to the capital was not only to meet Mo Lihai, but also to secure the position of Demon General. This was the capital of the entire Heavenly Demon Province, where experts were abundant. Only by standing out among them could he catch the attention of the Demon Emperor, making it much easier to claim the position of Demon General. Sun Tao reached the mid-stage of his cultivation, yet he was injured and fell to the perfect infant metamorphosis stage. He claimed it was someone from the Great Luo Sword sect. More than 10 from the sect entered the land of demon spirits, and unless they cooperated in a group, it should be impossible for one person to injure Sun Tao this severely. After pondering for a long time, Wang Lin took a deep breath. The reason he gave Sun Tao the pill earlier was to convey goodwill. Though there had been some friction between them in the Celestial Demon City, they were still of the same sect. Against the Great Luo Sword sect, they couldn't afford internal conflicts. After much thought, Wang Lin closed his eyes and entered a state of deep meditation. At dusk, Mo Lihai returned with a glimmer of joy in his eyes. He shared a drink with Wang Lin, and as they discussed their divine abilities, Mo Lihai informed Wang Lin of several other demon generals in the Heavenly Demon Province whose abilities were similar to his own. Time passed quickly. 4 days had gone by since Wang Lin arrived at Mo's residence. During these days, Wang Lin had immersed himself entirely in cultivation, transforming demon power into immortal power, strengthening his foundation. Wang Lin did not ask about the date of the Demon General War. He knew that when the time came for him to take action, Mo Lihai would let him know. So, Wang Lin remained patient. Aside from cultivating, he spent most of his time pondering the Slaughter Immortal art, which he had gained deeper insights into after the massacre in the ancient demon city. The 3 months spent in the soul-refining tribe had been spent in the same manner, with daily cultivation and contemplation of the Slaughter Immortal art. Now, the only difference was that his surroundings had changed, but his mindset remained unaffected. Wang Lin's calm demeanor caught the attention of the 2 soldiers assigned to his care. Over time, they began to admire him. In their eyes, anyone who had reached Wang Lin's level of cultivation and could still persist in their training would undoubtedly become a demon general in the future. Mo Lihai had been extremely busy during this time, leaving early and returning late every day. He visited various demon commanders and deputy commanders and communicated with some of his friendly demon generals, exchanging information. He could feel that a storm was brewing in the entire Celestial Demon City, and this oppressive atmosphere would erupt during the Demon General War. During his quiet stay at Mo's residence, Wang Lin did not train on the 4th day. Instead, he sat cross-legged in the courtyard, his hands forming seals, rapidly changing. Each transformation contained the imprint of the Slaughter Immortal art. Wang Lin sat for another 7 days. At first, the 2 soldiers watching over him stood nearby, observing calmly. But as they continued to watch, a murderous aura began to grow violently within their hearts. Their minds shook violently, and their eyes turned red with intense killing intent, yet their intelligence seemed to fade. Just when the murderous aura reached its peak and they were about to explode, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes during his meditation, and his gaze was clear and serene. The 2 soldiers, meeting Wang Lin's eyes, felt as though cold water had been poured over their heads, instantly waking up. Despite this, The demon power within them had dissipated by more than half. Terrified, they quickly retreated, no longer daring to observe Wang Lin's cultivation. The Slaughter Immortal art absorbs the killing intent and merges it with vitality to form a unique imprint. Until now, I have killed many living beings, but why does the killing aura not seem to accumulate much? There must be a reason for this. Wang Lin thought deeply. He recalled every time he successfully refined the slaughter chi after learning the technique. After a long time, Wang Lin sighed. He realized that his experiences in refining the killing aura had almost no similarities. Each time it seemed to happen by chance, without any inherent regularity. If there was something, when I killed Sima Yen that day, it did feel a little strange. I struck in a fury, and somehow refined a strand of slaughter chi. A flicker flashed across Wang Lin's eyes, but it quickly dimmed. But it still doesn't add up. After all, I've refined slaughter chi before without any emotional fluctuations. And several strands of slaughter chi were refined from demon soldiers. But exactly which ones, I couldn't determine. Wang Lin fell into deep thought. He couldn't make sense of it, and his brows gradually furrowed. The Slaughter Immortal art is one of the key reasons I came to the land of demonic spirits. I originally cultivated this divine art to resist Tua Senator. His strength is so overwhelming that only a large number of life imprints can stand against him. Now I have the Blood Soul pill, and combining the two gives me enough to protect myself. But the pill is limited. My real focus is still on the Slaughter Immortal art. Wang Lin remained silent. He had been cultivating this technique for several years. Refining the first strand of slaughter chi meant he had achieved minor success. But to fully master it was extraordinarily difficult. There's something hidden within this slaughter chi, I can feel it. But I control too little of it to test anything. He raised his right hand, and 5 strands of gray mist began to spin rapidly between his fingers. Only 5 strands. Even counting the one on Yao Shishue, that's just 6. He let out a quiet sigh. He still hadn't grasped the essence of the Slaughter Immortal art, and the origin of the slaughter chi was a complete mystery. He'd thought of many explanations, but each was unique, with no common thread. It seems I need a vast number of trials and deductions if I want to uncover the secrets of the Slaughter Immortal art. A cold light flashed in Wang Lin's eyes, and a wave of killing intent surged within them. After a moment's thought, he spread out his divine sense. Sweeping through the area, he found 2 soldiers stationed just outside the courtyard behind the artificial mountain. The 2 of them feared Wang Lin's divine abilities to the core, not daring to approach, yet they couldn't disobey a direct order from their commanding officer. So they remained outside the courtyard, guarding it and preventing any disturbances. Wang Lin's divine sense brushed past them, transmitting a silent command. Moments later, the 2 soldiers stepped into the courtyard and stopped 3 paces before him. In unison, they bowed respectfully. "Greetings, General Wang. I'm going out. You 2 will lead the way," Wang Lin said plainly. The 2 were briefly stunned, then quickly acknowledged the order. Wang Lin stepped forward, striding several paces in an instant. The 2 soldiers followed closely behind. One of them hesitated for a moment, then asked respectfully, "General Wang, shall I prepare a warhorse?" "No need." With a slight flicker of his body, Wang Lin passed around the artificial mountain and exited the courtyard. The trio left the MO residence, Wang Lin at the lead. The residence was located in the eastern corner of Vast City, a relatively quiet area. He wandered forward at a leisurely pace. He didn't walk fast. As he moved, he glanced around. Soon, after passing the eastern district, he arrived at the central street of Vast City. The area bordered a river and was bustling with people. Shops lined one side of the street, making it lively and noisy. The constant hum of voices filtered into his ears. Passers-by, men and women, moved all around him. In the land of demonic spirits, attire tended to be more revealing, especially for women, many of whom wore bright colors and exposed much of their skin. It was a feast for the eyes. All of it brought a rare sense of ease to Wang Lin's mind. He walked slowly, like an ordinary mortal. The immortal power within him quietly receded, like a river gradually running dry. As he walked, he occasionally stopped outside shops, looked around briefly, entered some, left others, but never stayed long. He was like a traveler passing through foreign lands, slowly making his way. Wang Lin wasn't particularly handsome, but cultivation had given him an ethereal, unworldly aura. Because of that, a few of the more open-minded women in the crowd would sometimes let their gaze linger on him. Clad in white, he looked from afar like a frail scholar, harmless and gentle. The two soldiers trailing him, on the other hand, appeared like typical bodyguards in the eyes of others. Yet Wang Lin always gave off a presence entirely unlike this place, making it impossible for him to truly blend in. In that way, his figure seemed somewhat solitary, faintly distant. Around him, couples walked and chatted, their faces filled with warmth and closeness. In contrast, Wang Lin walked alone, just one solitary figure. Among the crowd, the noise around him felt like another world altogether. The couples seemed like people from a different space and time. Nothing around him felt familiar or connected to him in any way. A strange, indescribable feeling rose in Wang Lin's heart. He sighed quietly. The street ahead stretched long and far, but he no longer wished to walk it. As the sky darkened, just as he was about to turn and leave, a soft melody of a zither reached his ears. The music was faint, carrying a touch of sadness, as delicate as the sorrow it contained. This gentle sadness, this faint zither melody, strangely resonated with Wang Lin's mood in that moment. His steps halted, unwilling to leave. Following the sound of the zither, Wang Lin walked slowly. Not far ahead, along the street, there was a tranquil river that wound around Hong City, one of the inner rivers of Celestial Demon City. On the river, several painted boats were floating, and the zither melody was emanating from one of them. Wang Lin stood quietly by the riverbank, listening to the music. With his sharp eyesight, he quickly noticed a woman playing the zither on one of the painted boats. The woman was only visible from behind. Her silhouette, like her music, exuded a subtle sadness and loneliness. Not far in front of her, a few young men sat, laughing and drinking, their voices ringing out. Yet, within this zither melody, their laughter felt so discordant, so out of place. Wang Lin gazed at the boat, the melody entering his ears. He slowly savored it, and gradually a familiar feeling arose in him. In that moment, it was as though he had returned to the peaceful valley on Vermilion Bird Star, the place he once called home with Li Muin. During those simple days, Muin's zither music had always accompanied Wang Lin. Her music, too, carried a faint sadness. At that time, Wang Lin could hear it, but he didn't fully understand. The sadness within the music felt so ethereal, so fleeting. After Muin left, Wang Lin never heard the same melody again. But today, here, as he listened, the sorrow within his heart slowly resurfaced. Before Muin's departure, Wang Lin's feelings for her had always remained a sense of gratitude and responsibility for the hundreds of years of waiting. It wasn't love, but after her departure, Wang Lin's remaining years were filled with memories of her, one after another, resurfacing unintentionally. Every time, his heart would ache, as though he had wandered into a forest of sorrow. Within that forest, the dormant feelings slowly awakened. The bitter sadness, the blue pain, stirred like bitter water in Wang Lin's heart, creating ripples that were hard to erase. He would always remember their first meeting, the panic in her eyes. The zither music reached his ears. Though he knew it wasn't real, Wang Lin still felt, as though from the void, Muin was walking towards him, step by step, as if she were in his arms again. It felt just like in the valley years ago, sitting together with Li Muin in the sunset, waiting for the sunrise. It's always after losing something that you wish to have it back, always in the parting that you long to turn back. In the years after Muin left, time and time again, when he looked back, when he recalled those memories, Li Muin's image became clearer and clearer in his heart, carving itself deeply into his soul, becoming endless and eternal. As the sky grew darker and night approached, a burst of starlight appeared in the sky. In this land of demon spirits, there were many things beyond imagination, such as this starlight or the moonlight. Where they came from no longer mattered. What mattered was that, in this starlight, accompanied by the zither's music, Wang Lin's sealed memories were pried open. The starlight in the sky reflected in Wang Lin's eyes, and, along with the slowly fading zither music, it turned into a series of emotions that gathered in his heart. These emotions were loneliness, lingering in his heart, refusing to dissipate. As the zither's sound grew fainter, Wang Lin raised his right hand, touching his forehead, as if he could feel Muin within the heavenly reversal pearl. He murmured softly, "Muin, we will meet again. This is my promise to you." The painted boat drifted away, and the woman's silhouette slowly disappeared. Just as it was about to vanish completely, the woman seemed to sense something, and she turned slightly, casting a glance at the distant riverbank. In her eyes, there was only darkness, not a single trace of light. Yet, in that darkness, she seemed to see a figure, slowly retreating alone into the distance. On the boat, the woman sighed gently, her delicate fingers strumming the zither strings. A mournful melody echoed again along the riverbanks. The boat was brightly lit, but in her eyes, it was always enveloped in darkness, no matter whether it was day or night. In that darkness, she played the zither, and the laughter and voices from the boat seemed to have just arrived, but her music pushed them away, shattering them into pieces. She sat at the bow of the boat, her eyes void of light, but in that moment, she resembled a lotus flower, growing from the mud, untainted, blooming alone. Yet, this bloom was beyond understanding, and no one cared. The zither melody continued to echo, but there was no one to truly listen. Even if there were, could she hear them?